What's going on, gamers? NaMeLeSS here, and today we're going to be doing a review on Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. The game finally came out and people are playing hard. Today we're going to talk about the storyline and the campaign mode, and then we'll get down to the brass tacks and talk about the multiplayer. But before we dive into the review, I just wanted to say that with all the hype that they were putting behind this game in E3 and the 3 years of development, I was hoping, praying, and wishing that this game would not be a bust, just like Ghost. I thought Ghost was the worst game that Call of Duty has put out, and I was hoping that that game would not hurt the series or the franchise, and that they would be able to produce a game that would recover them from the flop that that game put out. So with that said, I got my copy, brought it home, put it in, and from the start, what can I say? The CGI and the art in the cutscenes were awesome, off the charts awesome. The CGI alone, I mean, the characters in the game just looked so real that it wasn't even like playing a game. It was like you were interacting with a movie. How they put those scenes together, I thought was awesome. But playing the storyline, now I'm not going to give away too much because I believe that some of the gamers out there, you need to experience this for yourself. But just playing the storyline alone kept me on the edge of my seat and wanting to play more, wanting to play the next mission after mission after mission. I just couldn't get enough of it. And there's a lot more than just 3 hours of gameplay with this Call of Duty, which I'm happy for, because I thought the past Call of Duty games where they really didn't touch on the storylines really kind of spoiled it. But each mission that you do take part in took me about 20 to 30 minutes to play, and that's counting, like, you know, fails and all that kind of stuff. But all of the characters in the game was awesome, especially Kevin Spacey, who you will love and or hate by the end of the storyline. I am a big Kevin Spacey fan, and I loved his character that he played in this. When you first start playing the storyline, you start out as a guy named Mitchell, where him and his best friend are in the Marines, and they're being sent out to their first battle, their first war. And as they're going out there and you're playing as him, battling through the first war, at the end of the mission, you see that his best friend dies. And then they go into a cutscene, and in that cutscene, you know, you're at your best friend's funeral, and his dad, who is played by Kevin Spacey, comes up to you, and he is the CEO of this company called Atlas, and we'll talk about Atlas here in a second. But he's the CEO of Atlas, and he offers you a job. Now basically what Atlas is, it's an overgrown mercenary army, kind of like if you guys know who Blackwater is, it's kind of like them and what they would like to be in about 20 plus years. They have all this awesome advanced weapons and gears and vehicles and jets and stuff. The tanks that they have, oh man, I love those tanks. Those tanks were cool. They can not just roll like a normal tank, but they can walk, they can crawl, they can jump. There's this one scene where you're going through the Atlas facility, and there's these jets off to your right side that I swear look like an upgraded version of the A-10 Warthog. I wanted to see those jets in action. They just look badass set in there. But most of the missions that you play in, you just basically follow this guy around and you fight through waves of enemies. But the one thing I did not like about the storyline, the exo abilities, they don't really let you play too much with the exo abilities. You're limited in certain missions on what exo abilities you can play, you know, the double jump or whatever. They really limit you down to that, which I thought was kind of, I didn't like that too much. I wanted to play all the exo abilities and all the missions. I thought that would have made it a little bit funner, but that's the direction they decided to go with that, but that's okay. And sometimes in the interaction scenes, for me, the commands weren't working properly. Maybe it was just me not mashing the button down in time. I don't know, but not often, but sometimes the commands didn't work properly in the interaction scenes. But overall, I love the storyline. In my opinion, the best Call of Duty storyline ever. I had a lot of fun playing it, and for sure we'll play it in all the different difficulties over and over and over again. I just can't say enough about the storyline, and I don't want to give too much away for people. I believe you should experience this on your own. You will love this storyline, I guarantee it. Alright gamers, that's enough for the story mode and campaign. Time to move on to the part that everybody loves, and that's the multiplayer, the heart, the beef of the game. First thing I gotta say, customization. I love how Call of Duty Advanced Warfare lets you customize your player just a little bit more. You can customize your player from boots to pants to shirt to gloves to the EXO. I thought that was sweet how they put that and how they implemented it into the game. Also, when you're sitting in the lobby and you're waiting for a match load or people to join in, you can actually check out the other players in the lobby and see what they have for gear and weapons and stuff like that. I thought that was pretty sweet how they added that in. Now, one way how you gather these items to customize your player is through supply drops. Now, supply drops is kind of like a random event that hits you as you're playing matches. You'll see it pop up on your screen, and basically that's where you get your guns and gears and stuff like that, double XP sometimes, things to that nature. To date, the only weapons that I have gotten were not elites. The only elite piece that I have gotten so far was the jacket, but the jacket looks pretty sweet on my dude. It's a nice looking jacket. But they do give you something like 80 spaces of storage in your armory, so that alone tells me that there's going to be a lot more coming our way when it comes to what you can get as of through the supply drops and stuff like that. The weapons sound awesome in the game. I think they pinpointed the sounds for each weapon with the grenades and the gunfire and stuff like that. One gun in particular that I love is the gun that looks almost like a Tommy gun. It's basically a Tommy gun, but 100 years in the future and upgraded. I love the Tommy gun from the World War. And I'm just glad that they put it back in this game. I cannot explain how happy I am that they put it in there. The map layouts, I love the map layouts. There's different layers, 4 to 3 different layers to each map. A lot of maps you can go like underground and stuff, to flying up on top of buildings, to just ground level warfare, just old COD. I love how they did the maps. Most of the maps are pretty good to play on at this point. I can't wait to see what they come out with in the future. I also love the new EXO experience that they give us. Most people though that I've noticed, they don't really use the EXO abilities yet, being, you know, like the shield or the stem or anything like that. There's a lot of double jumping going around. Personally, I love doing the power slides into people as I'm shooting them up. I think that's a pretty cool thing to do. I also like how they added the range to the multiplayer. Basically, so when you get a new gun, you can just go to the range and try it out before even going into battle to try out the gun. I thought that was pretty sweet. You can also add your gamer tag to your gun or EXO again, but a little disclaimer for everybody, be a little bit careful. There will be a group out there monitoring what kind of pictures you create and make, and depending on if they find it offensive or not, there could be some kind of disciplinary action coming down. I don't know. I haven't heard of anybody getting in trouble for it yet. I'm just saying you just might want to, CYA with what kind of pictures you create to put on your EXO or gun. Now, one thing I do miss how they don't tell you anymore how many players are online or how many players are in certain matches. I did use that back in the day in a way to gauge on what kind of match I wanted to play. So I do miss that a lot. I also miss the variety match that they used to have, where you just join one lobby and it would be a random selection between, kill confirm, domination, or team deathmatch. I miss that. I wish they would bring that back a little bit. But those are the only two things I really miss of the game. Overall, the multiplayer gameplay stayed the same, but with the added EXO abilities, I thought was a great addition. The 2 new game matches I thought was pretty cool. Uplink and Momentum, basically Uplink is like headquarters in a way, and Momentum is just like another way of playing domination. I thought those were pretty cool things that they added. But the biggest plus of all was the customization. I love how they added the customization to your player. And with this game, I know for hours and hours on end, I will enjoy playing the multiplayer perfectly how they have this set up right now. For a shooter, I don't see this game having any real competition until about March 17th, 2015, and that's when EA is projected to put out Battlefield Hardline. EA did just come out last week and say that Battlefield 5 is going to be pushed back until about 2016, which personally I think was a good call on EA's part. I mean, you don't want, two games of the same series battling each other out in the same year. When they first announced both those games coming out next year, I thought it was ridiculous. So March 17th, I really don't see Call of Duty having any competition until then. Call of Duty also has 4 DLC packages that they will be putting out to keep their players more engaged with the game and wanting to play it more, which I think it will. If you're a hardcore Call of Duty fan, I say pay the $49.99 now and get out there and buy the season pass. Otherwise, if you're just a casual gamer that just plays the game once in a while, I say just sit back and wait, see what kind of content they put out with the packages, see what the individual prices are with the packages, and just go from there. Alright gamers, thank you for watching. I'm NaMeLeSS, and keep those controllers charged.